We welcome you into the Centro Deportes Colectivos here at Santiago, Chile for game day number 4, Group A action as we get set to see the Dominican Republic take on Brazil. Well, if the first 3 days are any indication, we are in for a great minute here tonight, or this morning rather, local time, 11:40 a.m. is tip. So we're 10 minutes away from that, but first, we'll take a look at the schedule. First of 2 games here in Group A, Dominican Republic taking on Brazil, and then a little later on, we will see El Salvador in action taking on Argentina. The Group A shakes out like this. Canada right now at top at a 2-1 record. They lost to Brazil yesterday. Brazil now 2-0. They will have the tiebreaker should it come down to that here in Group A. Some Brazilian fans have made the trip here to Santiago, Chile, and they are fired up to meet their Brazilian squad here for their 3rd game in Santiago, Chile, as they run through the tunnel. And it gives us an opportunity to introduce ourselves. Carla Gay alongside a sharpshooter Kelsey Wright Johnson. And Kelsey, you've seen Brazil now through 2 games, Their toughest battle came against Team Canada. It was a physical battle, and they were able to use their defense to shut Canada down in that 4th quarter. Yeah, for sure. We see a lot of their offensive power, but it was defense that got them the win versus Canada. I really like this team, obviously led by 2 of their WNBA stars, but a lot of talent all the way down the roster, and it's going to be fun to watch them throughout this entire tournament simply because of how strong they are, the chemistry they have, and they've just been powering through. And it's interesting to see how they play because it has been their offense in that first game and then it was their defense. So they can do it all, really. So this roster is super strong for Brazil. We'll talk more about the 2 bigs that you just mentioned who have made the trip here in the middle of the WNBA season, Dominis Dantes and Camila Cardoso, sacrificing playing time in the W to compete here for their national team. Meanwhile, running through the tunnel is the Dominican Republic. They are set to play their 3rd game here at the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. First game, they snuck out a victory over El Salvador, but then got dominated by Argentina just yesterday. They'd like to bounce back here in their 3rd outing. Yeah, that last game versus Argentina, they got off to a really cold start with just 9 points in the 1st quarter. They're led by Kapia, and look, 17 points a game for her. Also 31 minutes, or 17 points yesterday, 31 minutes just yesterday. I'm hoping, because they rely so much on all 12 players, a very evenly scoring team, other than her, of course, who leads the way with 20.5 points per game. I'm hoping fatigue doesn't play a role in the fast pace that Dominican plays with. Yeah, Cesarina Capayen shooting the ball well here in Santiago, 43% from 3-point range. Let's pause now for the national anthems.
Para escuchar el himno nacional de República Dominicana. Un fuerte aplauso para las selecciones de Brasil y República Dominicana, quienes a continuación proceden al saludo protocolar y intercambio de regalos.
The two teams meeting at center court, exchanging pleasantries, and we'll get set for this one after we introduce you to the third team on the floor, the officials for this early morning contest between Brazil and the Dominican Republic. Garcia, Rosado Vargas, and Laureano Guzman from Uruguay, Chile, and Puerto Rico. Three of the best officials here in the Americas getting the opportunity to call this one. All right, Kelsey, let's meet the starting lineup for both these two teams. First, we'll start with Brazil. And at 2-0, they've looked really good in this tournament, living up to the hype that many had them with coming in. Most people expected them to top the podium, and they've been handling their business.
I mean, you're looking right here at the reigning champs. Two of these players averaging double-doubles. Such a force to be reckoned with in that last game against Canada. Camila and Dantes, you see in the middle there, number 10 and number 12, combined for 39 points, 25 rebounds.
Dominant performance for head coach Pokey Chapman, who is the current assistant general manager and assistant coach for the Seattle Storm in the WNBA, but of course here at the FIBA level won a gold medal at the U19s way back in 1988 in Brazil. For the Dominican Republic, starting five, now flashing on your screen: Capayen, Morton, Jimenez, Reynoso, and Los Santos. And Capayen is the highlight player for this squad. Had a little bit of a struggle last night in the outing against Argentina. She would love to bounce back with a better game here today.
Yeah, strong starting five for the Dominican Republic. And hey, they're averaging 20.5 points from their bench as well. So they got depth. They play with a lot of pace. It's going to be a quick one here, and hopefully, like I said, fatigue doesn't play a factor because they rely a lot on their pace as well, averaging just under 8 points in fast break per game.
Alberto Zavala, the head coach for the Dominican Republic, a Cuban native, trying to lead his squad here to qualify for the World Cup of Basketball, which will happen next year. Countdown to tip-off presented by Tissot inside of a minute before we get the party started here in Santiago, Chile. And Brazil, who have looked great, looking to assert their dominance once again here in this one. And Kelsey, you've been impressed with Dominican Dantes and the way that she's been able to show up here and be the star that she is.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched her in the WNBA, and we talked about it a little bit off air. A really solid role player in the WNBA for years, a ton of experience for her. Such a star on this international stage, and obviously you look at the numbers, and she's averaging 22 points, 10.5 rebounds, but it's so much more than what you see on the box score. A real leader for this team, a vocal leader on the defensive and offensive end. And look, they look for her down low almost every possession because she's been so dominant on the offensive end. She's blocking people on the other end, and has not necessarily a size advantage in terms of height, but strength is what she thrives in, and you're going to see her dominate in that category a lot on the offensive end here today against the Dominican Republic. I mentioned the height thing. The average height for these teams just about an inch different. It doesn't seem like a lot when you look at it on paper, but you're going to notice how much Brazil relies on their two bigs down low and how much productivity they get out of those two players.
Off we go here. Game day number 4, match number 1. The Dominican Republic taking on Brazil. DR in the white uniforms. Brazil in the green. Capayen was blocked that time by Victoria. Reynoso follows up, can't get it to drop. And a clear for Dominican Dantes. Here's Alana Gonzalo. Victoria this side, she'll take the 3 off the mark. Cardoso had an opportunity at the offensive board, but it's cleared by Reynoso. That's going to be important for the Dominican Republic to keep it one and done. Yeah,
they sent 5 white jerseys to the defensive glass, and that's going to be, like you said, one of a key priority for them is to not allow the two bigs, like we've been talking about for Brazil, in Damaris Dantas and Camila Cardoso to get to that offensive glass, because that's what they are so good at. Second chance points, 13.5 per game for Brazil.
Yeah, they've been pounding the O boards in their first 2 games. A 21-point victory over Argentina in Brazil's first outing, and then a dominant performance in the 4th quarter to get past Canada just yesterday. Cardoso on the block, draws 2. Nascimento for 3.
Nascimento's been so great. 8 points per game, 3 assists per game. Such a good director of this team. And although we talk about them getting the ball down low, because they get the ball down low and put so much pressure on the defense there, Nascimento's going to have some open shots. Glad that she could knock them down for Brazil to start it off.
Inside, Batista on the cleanup.
Batista shooting 50% from the field in this tournament so far.
Efficient. Cardoso able to get deep post position that time. Quickly, Brazil with a 5-2 lead early in this one. There's Joanna Martin, the oldest player on the Dominican Republic, 37 years of age, bringing plenty of experience for the DR. Capellan slipped. She is nursing an ankle injury that she picked up in game number 1, fighting through it. Dantas with a straight drive 3, can't get it to go. And plenty of players slipping on these signs here early in this game. You have to watch that throughout. Reynoso picked up her dribble in an awkward area, almost went back to the bounce, but did a good job of realizing she killed her dribble. Jimenez struggled with foul trouble in the loss yesterday. Takes a 3. It's plucked out of the sky by Cardoso. Batista fighting around Dantas. Dantas did a great job of catching it, and I've been impressed with her hands so far here in Santiago.
Yeah, I mean, her hands, her footwork, almost everything she does is so impressive. If you're Dominican Republic, you can't allow her to pin you right behind, because when she gets the ball down low, she's so crafty at what she can do to get around you.
Capellan driving, thought she got fouled. Play on as Victoria will push back the other way. Back inside, Dantas watched by Batista. One-on-one action, Dantas fading away, pure.
And that's exactly what I mean. As soon as she pins you behind, you're almost dead. You got to allow yourself to either deny her the ball or 3-quarter coverage and get something, like not allow her to get the ball so easy down low.
Capellan on the backdoor cut. This time she gets hammered and will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, she's gonna have to have a big game this morning for Dominican Republic. Like I said, averaging 20.5 points per game. She's gonna need that or more in today's game to be able to keep up with scoring. She's the only player on her team right now averaging in the double digits, so a big load on her shoulders offensively this morning.
Played last season at Unicaja Málaga in Spain and averaged 10 points per game, just over 4 rebounds. And she is 2 days away from celebrating her 22nd birthday.
Oh, she is young.
Very young. A lot of talent for this Dominican Republic squad. Future is bright for her. Going to be a pillar with this national team for a very long time. Victoria's 3 is short. Jimenez trying to keep it in play. Capellan on her tush, able to corral possession, and Batista in the front court. Reynoso screens for Jimenez. Capellan driving, blows the layup. Nascimento will clear. They get inside Cardoso, watched by Reynoso. Cardoso with good footwork that time.
I mean, I almost hate to see the one-on-one action if I'm Dominican Republic. Reynoso, a super tough player, a great defender, going up against Cardoso. You need help down low. And it almost looked like Dominican Republic just kind of got stagnant there when the ball got inbounded.
Victoria comes up with the steal and the lay. And that's going to lead to a quick timeout for the Dominican Republic. Early morning here, no problem for the Dominican Republic. They seem like they've taken their coffee. A 13-4 advantage with 5:42 remaining in the first. Let's listen in to the Dominican Hub.
Everybody needs to have the same energy also, though. Nobody's talking on defense, nobody's talking on offense. Can't just blame one person, it's everybody. There's 5 people on the court.
Todo el mundo va a Ceci. Oye, todo el mundo va a Ceci. Entonces, el otro lado está libre.
I got it.
Llevo tres veces cortando ahí sola.
Rápido. 1, 2, y vengo para acá. No hemos hecho esto. Una vez no hemos hecho esto. En la 2, vamos a darle continuidad al trabajo. Nada más que pedirte más para eso. Quiero el 1 creativo. No quiero el 1 estático. Quiero el 1 creativo. Como juegan ellas, el 1 es un jugador creativo, no un jugador rígido. Lo quiero creativo, ¿ok? Angie por Cesarina y usted por Jennifer. Vamos.
The early lead for Brazil. They've started great again, and that's been the story here in this tournament. They haven't really fallen asleep in first quarters, and again, out to a big lead.
No, in Dominican Republic, like I said in their last game, they had a tough first quarter, only scoring 9 points in that first quarter. And it's not even necessarily the offense right now. I know it seems like you want them to get going offensively, only 4 points, but defensively, Brazil's shooting 100% from the 2-point field right now. And so you know that a lot of those buckets are gonna come in the key. You gotta find some power, some strategy, whether you're doubling or denying or, you know, packing the paint, or else Camila and Damaris are just gonna eat in the key all game long.
They averaged 31 points in the paint, does Brazil. And well on their way to that. Cardoso with a block. Nascimento leaves it for Dantas. It was tapped and kept alive. 3 on the way, no good. Cardoso with the old board. Dantas will try for 3. Too strong. Rebound vacuumed in that time by Kaylis. Here's Morton navigating inside, got fouled, should go to the line.
Nice take by Morton.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. I was gonna say a vet being a vet. Smart basketball IQ. She saw that she had one of the smallest Brazilian players on her, and she said, hey, now's my opportunity to go and not get blocked. Goes up strong, uses her body, goes into the defender. She initiates the contact, and she'll be rewarded here.
Plays for Ponce in the second division in Spanish, in Spain, excuse me, in the Spanish league. The oldest player on the national team. Has been with the program since 2003, Kels. Some of these players at this tournament weren't even born yet. One of them on the floor right now, who just teed up a 3, is Nascimento, who drills it.
I mean, hey, and that's what I'm talking about. It's so tricky to play this Brazilian team because they warrant so much of the defense's attention down low that if you got a good shooter, you're gonna get open looks.
Morton, couple of series of fakes, can't get it to go on the one-legged fadeaway. And de Oliveira pushing the other way. Dantas was rejected by Batista. Solid defense that time by Batista. Subs on both sides coming in. Evangelista will check in, number 7 in white for the Dominican Republic. And she had an offensive spurt in the third quarter in yesterday's game with 8 quick points. And with the offense struggling right now, you might look for her to kind of take over. An easy pass inside, and a foul is going to be called. And instead of kickstarting the offense, Evangelista picks up her first. Mora to the line. Reynoso will check out. And Dos Santos checks back in. So Mora, who plays pro in Brazil for Ceci, averaged 12.8 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, 76% free throw shooter, drilling both.
And hey, they bring their 2 W players off, but then you bring in a player like Mora. She's just a winner, has won gold and, you know, the Pan Americans, the South Americans. She's won 4 golds with this team Brazil. So the talent just continues to go throughout this entire Brazilian roster.
Evangelista pulls for 2, can't get it to drop. And a quick push back the other way for Brazil is Silva. Nascimento, another 3, that's off. Dos Santos vacuums it in. And Kaylis will push. Batista with the floor cleared. Now back to the basket. Tried a tough pass inside to Dos Santos. They couldn't handle it. Kaká Martins. Nascimento open again for three. Indeed.
Brazil is playing at a pace that Dominican is used to playing at. The Dominican Republic plays at such a quick pace offensively, but on the defensive end, they haven't had a chance to really get set into what they want to be in defensively, and it's been a lot of scramble opportunities. Brazil taking advantage of that.
Well, Nascimento up to 9 points and counting in this one. Nice pass inside, and that's a block by Mora. It's going to stay here with 1.4 to shoot for the Dominican Republic. Evangelista firing the three, can't get it to go. And a good block out that time by Martins. Silva. Nascimento again for three, indeed.
Lights out for Vela Nascimento. What a way to start the first quarter for Team Brazil.
Last year with William and Mary in the NCAA, averaging 16 points per game. Shot the ball well, three-point range. And you can see when she gets the green light, it's nothing but cash money.
I mean, only 25% from the three in the tournament, but today, that's a different story. 4 for 5, only in the first frame. We still got a whole lot of basketball to play, and she's definitely got the hot hand.
They got to find her as Dominican sit in the zone. Martins inside, Mora.
I mean, hey, we talked about Mora and how much experience she has on this international stage. A zone's a smart move, but you can't get back cut when you're down low.
Kelly's falls and loses control of the basketball out of bounds, and a turnover here for the Dominican. So Kaká Martins, one of the vets of this program, started the senior national team in 2013. Coming off the bench here for Brazil, another three, bang, that time it's Silva. And Bogey Chapman clapping on the sideline, loving what she's seeing here early on.
I would too if I was the coach of Team Brazil. They are on fire. Seems like everything is just going their way offensively right now.
Cape in for three, trying to respond. She shot the ball well from three-point range coming into this one. 43% from deep, was off on that. Silva will try again, straight on three. Can't get it to go, and that rebound almost knocked Diola Vieira in the face. Goes out of bounds. Vieira will check in. And Nascimento will sit. Big smile on her face as she exits.
Dominican Republic, only one field goal so far in this game, and that came from Madeline Batista. They really got to look to get Capian a little more involved on the offense.
Batista turns it over right there. And Mora waiting for Martins. Changes in the Silva screen. Once again, it's Mora inside. She's fouled by Batista this time, and she'll have to earn it at the foul line.
That same cut got them again. She's cutting from the left-hand side, right under the basket. You see there, getting to her spot on the block. I mean, fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice.
So Mora averaged just under 6 points per game at the 2024 South American Championships. She had 14 in the game against Bolivia and 11 in the semis against Colombia. Was a huge factor in the World Cup pre-qualifiers back in Rwanda. A point and a rebound away from a double-double average at that tournament. And here she is coming off the bench behind two WNBA stars.
Yeah, and 6 points already for her tonight, so well on her way to her tournament average.
Evangelista's three's off the mark, and Mora vacuums it in. Martins will push under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Silva on the block, lost control of it. Rodriguez in the open floor, trying to weave through traffic. Batista clapping for it. She wants on the block, finally gets it. Diola Vieira, excuse me, Dos Santos in the lane, can't get it to go. better looks the last couple of possessions for the Dominican Republic that just haven't been able to go through the hoop.
Yeah, I like that take from De Los Santos. Really elevated, showed her athleticism, and that's who I want the ball in the hands of. I mean, 8.5 points per game for her so far.
This is good ball movement here for Brazil. It leads to a 3. It's going to be short. Batista picks it up. Shot clock unplugged for Rodriguez. Evangelista thought about it. She's going to have to take it now. Didn't get it off in time, it looked like from the naked eye, but didn't go anyway. And that's how we'll end the first quarter. 31-5, Brazil in front after 1. Well, the first quarter stats tell the story so far. Brazil hot from 3-point range, 5 threes. Belen Nascimento coming out, firing from 3-point range. Dominican Republic struggling to find a bucket. And that's been the story thus far to this big lead for Brazil, a 26-point advantage. We'll take the quick break. You can enjoy the pictures from the first quarter. Scan the QR code on your screen right now to download the Courtside 1891 app. Stream, schedule, scores, and so much more. Your companion app here for the FIBA Women's AmeriCup in 2025. You can also catch up on some of the men's action from FIBA Eurobasket and other FIBA competitions. Courtside 1891, your home for FIBA basketball. Well, a dominant performance in the first quarter for Brazil. 31-5 your score. And it's been points in the paint and points off turnovers for Brazil. 15 points off turnovers in this first quarter. And they're just taking advantage of the Dominican Republic mistakes.
Yeah, the fast break points is where I think the Dominican Republic, can start to spark their offense. They have 0 right now, like I said earlier, averaging 7.5 per game. They play at such a quick speed, usually taking a lot more field goals than their opponents. And I hope they're able to get going in the open court.
Gabayan trying to get going in the open court, but was stripped. Herrera touched it last, so it goes out of bounds. It's going to be 14 on the shot clock for the Dominican Republic to play with. Number 5 in green, seeing her first action for Brazil. Ayla McDowell has not played at all in this tournament up until now, and she's guarding the ball right now. Gabayan falling away. That's a tough look. Can't get it to drop, though. Kaka Malchines vacuums it in. McDowell missed the 3 on her first touch. Here she is on her second. Nice pass over the top. Mora with a tough layup attempt. Can't get it to drop. A crafty move by Mora underneath.
Not quite the same backdoor cut we've seen, but the same spot on the other side. She's gonna build a house down there and have open look after open look, a kind of a different finish there with the up and under. But if you're in a zone for the Dominican Republic, you got 3 down there, they're in a 3-2. You can't let a green jersey get behind you, because the passing from the guards on Team Brazil, so smart, so quick, and really the chemistry on this team, they're gonna get the ball down low.
Build a house down there. I wonder who her agent is. I might want to apply for that role. It seems like prime real estate. Mora drilling the second of 2 free throws. Push the lead to 32-5. Here's Rodriguez. Reynoso. Evangelista could get hot. Trying to find some space, but this Brazilian defense suffocating right now. Rodriguez blows the layup. Malchines will push the other way. Long pass. Ferreira was blocked by Batista, but they're going to call a foul.
The right idea there by Batista. Dominican Republic got back in transition defense, which they kind of struggled to in that first quarter. So you see the hustle there. I mean, if I'm the Dominican Republic, you want to find something that you can stump on Team Brazil. Something Team Brazil struggled with against Canada was their turnovers, 18 turnovers versus Canada. They allowed 19 points off of turnovers. And so you really want to push for something. They're shooting really well. They're getting to the bucket. Their free throws are going. You got to find something that you can tick off, you know, put a check mark in the box and find something that they're not doing great in.
Yeah.
Try and force some turnovers.
Capellan inside, forcing one up. She missed it. Malchines pushed the other way. Ferreira. That's an offensive foul. Batista taking it in the chest. And there, to your point, Kelsey, finally do something, take something away. They took away that airspace.
There we go. Thank you. Those are the words I was looking for. Forcing, that's a turnover there. Plus you get the foul. And that, I hope, can start to spark the Dominican Republic defense and hopefully get Brazil on their heels a little bit if you are cheering for the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, there's plenty of time left in this game. Anything can happen. Rodriguez in the lane draws two. It's tapped out of her hands by McDowell, who's been very active defensively in her first stint. There she's on the rock, moving it quickly. She's going to trot across the lane. She's open on the 45, but the turnaround jump shot does not fall there for Manu, who also takes her first shot of the tournament and then comes up with her first foul of the tournament in her first stint of the tournament.
This is exactly what Dominican Republic needs to do, though. I had mentioned their fast break points. They thrive. They play their best offense, not in the half court, but in transition. So when you have Rodriguez going, you know, coast to coast as fast as she can, she gets the Jets behind her, and she's going to be, again, hopefully some points from the free throw line while the clock is stopped. And that's the kind of pace that Dominican Republic needs to start to play with.
Very young Dominican Republic team. And some of the youngsters on this roster making their senior national team debut. Rodriguez is one of them at 21 years old. The moment hasn't looked too big for her. Coming off the bench for the DR here in Santiago. McDowell moves it to Malchines. Inside, Mora. Manu Alves. Dribble it off her leg, and it's going to stay here. No, they say Capellan slapped it out of bounds. 4.9 to shoot for Brazil.
Good active defense from the Dominican Republic. Looks like, what'd you call it, breakfast basketball? They've had their coffee now, and it looks like they've woken up a little bit.
Fresh 14 off of that offensive rebound. McDowell, Malchines will take a two. That's off. And that will be last touch by Brazil. Morton checks into the game. Also changes coming now for the Dominican Republic. Jimenez also checking in. Hodge entering, and Abreu. The only remaining player on the floor from that last shift is Capellan. She might check out, actually. And Reynoso will sub into the game as well. Oh, she'll be held off. So Batista, the only remaining player on the floor from that last shift. Reynoso will come in at the next whistle. Jimenez gives it to Batista. Morton. Strong screen that time by Batista. Now on the block, she wants it. And Brio says, I'm going to take it myself. Rejected inside by Alves.
We haven't seen a lot of Alves. This is the first time she's playing in this tournament for Brazil. I didn't know she had that in her, but what a block.
19 years old is Manu Alves. She's headed to the University of Illinois for her freshman season in the NCAA. And getting some experience at the senior national team level here in this tournament. Morton's fall away not there. Alves vacuums it in. Cacao Melchins following out her set. Ferreira. Alves is at the nail. She has it now. Working on Hodge. Great move.
Look, Manu Alves, she went to IMG last year, one of the premier prep high schools for basketball, beating Montverde in the finals to win a championship. Although we haven't seen her a lot on this very strong Brazilian roster, she's a baller.
Yeah, definitely a future star here for the Brazilian national team. Good tie-up there by Mora. It's going to stay here with the Dominican Republic as possession arrow in their favor. Morton on the up fake. In the lane, probing. Gets Alves to leave her feet and fouls her.
Dominican Republic scored just 1 point so far in this quarter. Morton comes in and does exactly what Yvette's got to do. Get to the line, force herself to have the opportunity to make some shots.
And the 2024 Central Basket, where the Dominican Republic was able to walk away with silver. Morton averaged 14.2 points per game, 6 rebounds and 3 dimes. She had 16 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists in the championship game, which was a loss to Puerto Rico back in November.
Yeah, I had mentioned her Instagram to Amy when we had another game with the Dominican Republic. She works as an English teacher, and we were imagining her playing one-on-one with some of her students. Yeah. How fun that would be, because Miss Morton is tough.
Miss Morton is tough indeed. See the toughness there. She's all over McDowell, but maybe too much toughness. Can't foul her students that way.
Well, they get out of line.
A great teacher right there on your screen, Pokey Chapman, who has taken over this program and done a great job continuing to build. There's a lot of promise with Brazil. They've been able to find some dominance here at the Americas. Now the next level for them is to do it on the world stage. McDowell for 3, can't get it to fall.
Yeah, missed the last 2 Olympic bids, but they have a lot of talent, as we're seeing here, especially with every single one of the players right now, but the shining stars that they got to come back from the WNBA.
Yeah.
It's a really bright future for this Brazilian team. And like we said, even just this foul right here with Manu Alves, so young, but so talented, and didn't even crack the first 2 games here for Brazil, but she's going to be a big part of this organization moving forward.
Missing talent here on this team as well, as Acosta is not here and Sasa is also not here. 2 players who are stalwarts with the program. 10 to shoot for Morton. Finds Reynoso on the roll. Rejected by Alves. What a block.
And that's 2 for her already in her first stint here at the AmeriCup.
Ferreira able to corral, and then another foul for the Dominican Republic. Their 4th team foul here in this quarter. See the battle on the ground. And Jimenez picks up her first. Both teams a foul away from the penalty as we approach the midway point in this second quarter, excuse me. Alves spinning in the lane. That's a tough look. Can't get it to go. Hodge with the rebound. Morton with numbers. Takes it herself. Is hammered again and once again gets to the line. Kels, that's just a vet knowing team struggling from the floor. Find a way to get to the foul line, and Morton has lived there, speaking of real estate.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. She's gotten there twice now for 4 shots, more than anyone else on her team. And you're right, just basketball IQ-wise, she sees the size, she sees the intensity, the hands, the skill of the Brazilian defenders. And she knows that if she goes head full of steam and goes right at the defenders, they're going to have to make a decision. She's either going to get a bucket or they're going to have to foul her. And so she's doing just that.
Smoke detectors around the country going off right now as Nascimento checks back into the game. She was red hot when she left. And she's on the rock right now. Back to man-to-man defense for the Dominican Republic. Alves played well in her first minutes here in the tournament. Looking to get it on the block. Now she clears out. McDowell, tough catch in the paint. Goes out of bounds.
And you see it's Morton there, who we continue to talk about as the vet of this team, the leader of this team. She's the one who sacrifices her body and gets in the passing lane there. Doesn't necessarily get the steal, but starts a scramble situation where Dominican Republic comes out on top.
Here's Jimenez. Hodge on the 45. Abreu not afraid to penetrate. You see there, tough pass inside to Hodge. Hodge patient in the lane, can't get it to drop. And a rebound for Silva. Nascimento wanted Silva to run. Nascimento, good pass inside to Silva.
And that's why she wanted her to run. Not only is she hot from three, but so good at finding her teammates and creating openings.
Jimenez trying to attack Nascimento. Great defense by her to move her feet. De Oliveira on this side. McDowell up fake, uses a series of jabs. Gives it up to Nascimento. Nascimento rolling is Silva. Back-to-back plays. Nascimento to Silva.
Yeah, those two have some chemistry together. Talk about the chemistry a lot with the two bigs for Brazil, but this duo right here, this 1-2 punch for Brazil, dangerous in their own route. And dangerous, speaking of, Morton again makes this one fall, Carlin, and will go to the foul line. This is the spark that I want to see from her.
Knows her team needs her. She delivers and gets the Dominican Republic into double digits.
Yeah, these lights definitely not too bright for Johanna Martin. This is her 4th AmeriCup. She averaged just under 8 points per game in 2023, and she's just been so strong in this tournament so far.
Yeah, they're going to need her scoring here in this one. Try and chip away at this lead. Alves puts it on the deck, kicks it out. Silva is red hot right now, misses the 3. That would have been 3 straight baskets in a row for her. Morton crossing over. Was ripped that time by Nascimento. Nascimento with her head up. McDowell for 3. Too strong. She knew she missed it as soon as her left her hands.
I hate that feeling.
Morton to the corner. Abreu, good up fake. And she'll take a 3. That's off. Morton battling inside. Silva who comes up with the rebound. Nascimento ahead. McDowell running into your picture. Nascimento for 3. Left it short. She is human after all. Morton with a good hesitation dribble around the bigger Alves. And Alves able to do enough to try and prevent that layup opportunity. Alves showing the range now. Can't get it to drop. Hodge on the run. Hodge galloping to the rim. It's knocked out of her hands. It's going to stay here. 18 seconds on the shot clock for the DR to work with. And they're going to take a timeout to talk about it. 2:15 remaining here in the first half. It's been all Brazil. 40-11 your score.
Hace falta que cuando cojamos el rebote, la bola se la pasen a Yeezy, pero búscala y pídele. Y estamos jugando muy lineal. Jueguen para acá, jueguen para el centro. Y aquí deciden el juego que están jugando para el lado acá. Ahora pregunto yo, ¿ok? Jueguen para el lado acá. Hay que darle la bola a Yeezy, que está en el terreno. Cuando usted es Jennifer, cuando usted... pero pídanla. No tengan miedo, pidan la pelota. Que ustedes corren, tienen tiempo. Ustedes corren por gusto, ¿ok? Saque fondo. Saque fondo. Saca Hilary. Yeezy, Angie, Johanna y quién es la otra, y Amel. Bloqueo. Y Yeezy sale a ver si puede tirar. Ok, si no pasa nada, Amel y Johanna entran. Ok, miren el trabajo. Ustedes dos aquí en medio del terreno. Bien lejos la pelota.
El contraataque, no se pongan con la jugadora. No va a poder soltar.
Sights and sounds of the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. The emotions running high with what's at stake here in Santiago, Chile, and that's a berth to the Women's World Cup happening next fall. Right now, the Dominican Republic in a large hole trying to dig themselves out of it. Elise off the inbound, can't get it to drop. Los Santos running a long way for that rebound. Morton is open. Didn't pull the trigger though. Moves it to Hodge. Hodge pulls it and drills it.
Hodge so far since she checked in has been really great on defense. She's gotten a couple stops, a couple deflections. Now we're seeing it open up on the offensive end.
An important 2 minutes here for the Dominican Republic to feel better about themselves going into the locker room if they can put together a run. Alves, tough move. Hodge with good defense.
Yeah, there's the defense we've seen from Hodge. So strong, so good at moving her feet. And this is the fight. Yeah, it's the fight where I want to see with Dominican. They're moving the ball now. They're going up in transition, and they play so good, like I said, in the open court. Keep running if you guys aren't tired. I'm tired watching them. It's early.
Some of those shots should drop for them. De Oliveira passed up a 3 and took a 2. Morton on McDowell. Morton attacking her. With hesitation, dribbled that time by Morton. Nascimento to the basket and the foul.
Nascimento, lights out. It's so tough when she's got the hot hand like she has. 4 for 6 from 3. You gotta play up on her because you know she wants to take it. And the minute you do, she's got that quick first step to get by her defender. And so good at finishing at the rim too.
I've really enjoyed her play this tournament thus far. Doesn't seem like a 22-year-old out there on that court. Starting for the Brazilian national team, Silva read it and will lay it up.
9 points for Thaina Silva in this one already. 5 rebounds,
Some
1
of
assist.
it is just her just being active. Haven't called the set for her yet. Hodge working on Alves. Alves might have got a fingertip to it. Rodriguez underneath, can't get it to go. And Alves fouling De Los Santos, and now send her to the line.
I like
Alves and De Los Santos talking a little junk right now, going back and forth.
Hey, that's how you get your team a little riled up. You got to start. Didn't Michael Jordan say he would just start beef with people who wasn't even real?
Yeah.
Motivate himself?
I do that sometimes too, but it doesn't work out in my favor.
Good motivation for Dominican Republic here, though. They give themselves 2 extra opportunities with those offensive rebounds. That puts De Los Santos to the line. And with 30 seconds left, like I said, when you're clawing your way back in this one, you want to do it when the clock is stopped. A beautiful take there, and she's looking to make this last one count.
She did. See if the DR can get some momentum here heading into the locker room, Kels. A stop here would go a long way. Nascimento trying to fight off her break. Alves calling for it on the block. After talking trash, is able to get a shot off, can't get it to go. Follows her own. Missed that one too. Rodriguez ahead to Morton. Stops, pops. And missed it. Touched every part of the rim. Hodge. And now Alves picks up her 2nd foul as Hodge got her in the air.
I like Hodge a lot. Such a good defender. And that whole transition play started with Hodge down low. Hodge, a really solid stop. Allowed that offensive rebound, unfortunately for her, but was able to get the stop again. And then they get it moving on the other side, and she's there for the offensive rebound. She goes up really strong, gets the defender off her feet, and then kind of dives right under to force the foul.
Hodge started playing for the national team in 2013. Has played 2 events for the senior national team. In 2018 and in 2022. It's her first opportunity to play in an AmeriCup. She was the National Women's Basketball League Finals MVP, averaging 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 dimes locally in the Dominican Republic. And now Morton asking for a review with 1.8 seconds remaining. Here's the replay. And they said it was
tricky.
Yeah, they want to say it was last touched by Brazil, and referees reversed the call. So good job by the officials to get together and change that. 1.8 for Dominican to shoot. It's Morton for 3.
It's a good look. We got less than 2 seconds to go. Morton's been the leader of this one, and she gets an open look from the 45.
Pokey Chapman's squad will head into the locker room with a massive lead, 46-18, after the first 20 minutes of play.
Brazil looked strong out of the gate. That first quarter really put Dominican Republic in a hole, scoring just 5 points, but a really good response from them in the second.
See the shooting percentages on your screen at the moment. At some point, we'll have to wonder, the Dominican Republic, the law of averages will eventually flip and work into their favor. They do have to take care of the basketball. 11 turnovers in the first half. Nascimento was red hot to start the basketball game. She leads all scores with 14. Silva coming off the bench to provide 9 points for Brazil. We'll take a look at some of the best plays from the second period and let you enjoy it. We'll be back with more here from Santiago, Chile. You're watching FIBA Women's AmeriCup.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one.
We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Corral the ball, and look at her, ball on the string. As an and one mixtape move for pause. Dating myself again as Ramirez drills the three. Mexico stringing some possessions together now to get themselves back into this one.
De Oliveira finds herself an opening. A big three by Emanuele De Oliveira.
The ball movement by the Americans. It's a dongle to the basket. Chapman and the foul. Maybelle Martinez feeling herself. Nice pass inside to Lopez. It's Martinez's world, and we're living in it.
Turns the corner out to Alexander. She redrives back to the basket. Nice footwork and gets herself open.
Chagas with 5 to shoot. They get it inside. Gauna falling away, rejected by Reynoso.
Gonzalo scoops it up, finds the lane down the right-hand side. It's an and one.
This is Jeffries, the jab, spinning, good footwork in the lane.
She's so dangerous, and if no one is going to get in front of her, she will find a way to get around the smaller defenders, and she did just that.
Can't get it to go, and Miles looking to push the other way. Fires a pass to Stolke, what a look!
Wilson, step back, deep three. Nothing but net. The crowd erupts. And to end the third quarter, Cheyenne Day Wilson.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world.
halftime, Brazil with a big lead, 46-18 over the Dominican Republic. You see Anna Morton, leading scorer for the DR right now with 8 points and counting in this one. Here are the team stats for Brazil. The 7 fast break points stand out in this one for Brazil as they've been able to turn the ball over and get out and run. The points on turnovers for Brazil has been huge, 19 of them in that first half.
19 points off of turnovers, you're right. That's massive off of those 11 turnovers from the Dominican Republic. A lot of those coming in the first quarter, as we did see a lot of fight from this Dominican squad in the second. Dominican has 0 points off Brazil's turnovers, which kind of was a crutch or was an Achilles heel, I guess, for Brazil in their last game against Canada. Really cleaned that up. And this has been the star of the show, Bella Nascimento. 5 for 7 from the field right now, 4 for 6 from the 3. She leads Brazil with 14 points. And she's getting it done from all over. She's allowed a few heat checks now because, holy moly, from 3, she just made one right there. She's been really, really good, and so good at leading the offense as well. We were talking right now just about her made shots, but just really a leader on this team. 3 assists already in a game where, you know, you're up by so much, and she has no stop to her. It doesn't look like she's letting up at all against this Dominican team. Yeah, really, really good start to this game for the young player who's still looking to prove herself in this program.
Plus 24 in her time on the floor. That leads all players for Brazil at the moment. We talked about it off the top, the 2 stars coming in mid-season from the WNBA, Camila Cardoso and Dominus Dantas. And they really haven't had to have much of an impact on this basketball game. And the perimeter has been the catalyst here for Brazil. And that's a message to the rest of the teams here in the tournament, because Dantas and Cardoso have been dominant inside in their first 2 games. But now if you're going to get the perimeter going, that really does put Brazil in a position where they should be the favorites.
Yeah, and I mean, it just goes to show how strong this entire roster is. We haven't seen a lot of minutes from either of them, just, you know, 5 and a bit minutes from both of them. And look who stepped up.
We're going to go to the Brazilian huddle and listen in to Pokey Chapman.
Just like we started the first half, I want to go good defense, good transition, but I want to run this first play. I want to run dive quick, okay? So it's dive, same action. We get here, coming off the screen, and Camilla is going to be a quick pin down for Bella. Okay, quick pin down. And look, yes, you go corner, you're going to clear. If you don't have a shot, Camilla has a clear corner, you're going to have a pass to her, okay? First time, let's execute that right now. Come on, come on, come on. 1, 2, 3. Brasil.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now to download the Courtside 1891 app. Stream, schedule, scores, and so much more. Keep up to date with all FIBA leagues around the world, including this one right here, the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. It is your companion app, an app that Kelsey and I have enjoyed using the entire time while we've been here in Chile. We watched the Eurobasket final, which was simply sensational. A great finish to that one. Congratulations to Belgium. They punched their ticket to the World Cup. The Dominican Republic and Brazil looking to do the same thing here in Santiago, Chile. Moments away from the start of this second half, it will be Brazil basketball to start. Victoria on the floor with Gonçalo, Dantas, Nascimento, and Cardoso. The same starting 5 that they began the game with. Gonçalo, Nascimento for 3. A rare miss from her. Batista with a strong rebound. She's on the floor with Reynoso, Cabayen, and Breyu, who earns the start after playing well in the second quarter. And Jimenez. This is Jimenez looking to penetrate in the land of the bigs. Couldn't get that one to fall. Dantas kicks it to Nascimento. Nascimento missed Cardoso. And lands in the hands of Batista. Here's Cabayen. I'd like to see her going here in the third.
Yeah, no field goals for her yet after averaging about 20 points, a little over 20 points in this tournament so far. Only her only points, excuse me, so far in today's game have been from the free throw line. So would love to see her light a fire under this Dominican Republic team who has not given up.
Yeah, playing hard, and that layup is evidence of that. Reynoso just missing it. 5 to shoot for Capayen. Getting into her bag. Pulls up. Wild shot that time. Batista battling. It's going to go the other way. She touched the glass. Well, you're right, Kelsey. Effort still there. A lot of pride here for this Dominican Republic squad.
What I liked there was that second chance effort. Right now they've got 8 offensive boards and they've scored 7 points off of those second chance opportunities. So it's almost like every other time they're getting an offensive rebound, they're getting rewarded from it.
Cardoso skip past this side. It's Dantes with the up fake, driving in on Batista. Forced it up, can't get it to drop. She wanted a foul call, play on. Jimenez with speed. Stripped there by Gonzalo. And Jimenez asking for a foul call. Meanwhile, we play on. Victoria will tee up. No, she'll dish it inside to Dantes. Jimenez over the timeline, and here's Reynoso waiting to be used for ball screen. Gonzalo all over Jimenez, and oh my goodness, Jimenez going crashing into the LAD board. Good to see she's okay. Gonzalo lifting her hand saying, that was me.
Isn't that such an impressive thing to see? You're up by a significant margin over a team, and she is still 100% locked in on the defensive end. Just sharpening her skills, not taking a second off, because this tournament does mean so much.
Yeah, it's this point differential, and Brazil trying to extend their margin there. That's Capayen, a deep three. What a tough look.
Yeah, her first field goal of the day, and it comes from the three-pointer. Hopefully for her and for Dominican, that's what gets it done to start her off. We see a few more.
And that might wake her up. Guarding Victoria. A strong screen by Cardoso, and she rolls to the basket and was hammered by Reynoso, who just wants to send her to the line.
The smart foul there by Reynoso. That's just her second foul of the game. Stops one of the most efficient players on, the most efficient player on Brazil from getting the open look on the right-hand side. And so you're going to make her earn it now here at the foul line.
If there's one area where Camila Cardoso could improve, it is the foul line. At this tournament, coming into this one, she is shooting 78% from the line. She's able to knock down both free throws there.
100% from the line today.
Playing with a big smile on her face right now as her team up big. Nice backdoor cut. Abreu, and a good find by Reynoso.
Reynoso, I don't like to use the word underrated, just maybe not the star points-wise that Capayen is, but she is so solid on offense and defense, finds her teammates, goes to the bucket, really tough, and look at the defensive, like who she has to guard on the defensive end right now.
Her assignment's tough.
Yeah, such a handful, and she's doing such a good job. I mean, she gets called for the foul there, but such a good job trying to deny, getting tough down low.
It's not an easy cover. I wouldn't want to sign up for that job, but she's handled herself well so far in this game. That's the second team foul on the Dominican Republic. By the way, another tough cover right there. And I mean, it's Dantes who drills down mid-range.
She's just so dangerous because she can get it done from anywhere on the court. She pulls up from real deep. She's got a mid-range game, and then, of course, down low. You couldn't pay me enough money to try and cover her down there.
Capayen in between 4 green jerseys got fouled on the pass. It's a second team foul here for Brazil.
Yeah, and that's the effort I want to see from Capayen. The leader in scoring for this team, one of the leaders on the court. And yeah, she's got a tough defensive assignment there on that one, but offensively, when she's going 110%, she's really good.
Blocked by Dantes on the three-point attempt. And Nascimento will push the other way. Gonzalo, she'll tee up a 3. Indeed.
Brazil continues their three-point reign over top of the Dominican Republic. They have been so red hot, and it's not just Nascimento, as Gonzalo lights one up of her own.
Brazil shooting. Lights out from three-point range, as Kelsey mentioned. What a move. Victoria skying in for the finish.
Yeah, not just from three-point. They're getting everything they want right now. Shooting almost or close to 50% from the field.
Capellan, watched by Victoria. She'll screen for Jimenez, who tees up the three. Indeed.
What a way to get some space. Comes off the screen, steps to the side to create a little bit of distance from her defender.
Nascimento was cooled off from her hot start. She missed her last 2 attempts. Capellan with the in-and-out cross and was fouled by Victoria. Took a shoulder to the throat that time. It's the 3rd team foul for Brazil. And 2nd for Victoria. Jimenez will sit. Kelly's will check in. Morton will come back onto the floor, as will Evangelista. Capellan will sit after taking that shot. She's still working it out. So Morton, Reynoso, Bautista, Kelis, and Evangelista on the floor for the DR. This is Kelis. Foot on the line. That's a 2. Can't get it to drop. And a foul called on Dantas. It's going to be now the 14th foul for Brazil. And with 5:20 remaining in the quarter, an opportunity now for the Dominican Republic to put some pressure on Brazil and get some opportunities at the free throw line with the next foul.
Attack, 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 attack. You find the Dominican Republic doing what works for them right now is getting to the hoop. I wouldn't settle for a lot of threes, although they've been kind of hot from 3 to start the second half. But attack and transition, continue to attack their defenses. Get yourself some opportunities from the line. Morton been so good at attacking the defense so far. She puts up another one there. I like Reynoso.
Couldn't get it to drop though. Nascimento on the hesitation dribble. Kicks it out. A 3 on the way for Mora. And that's going to lead to a timeout.
Mora has been one of the players to really step up. 10 points now for her tonight. Or this morning, excuse me.
60-26 your score. Exactly 5 minutes remaining in the third. We'll listen into the Dominican huddle.
El saca fondo, el alero, el poste, y saca una, bloqueo, saco y tiro al aro, saco y tiro al aro. No la pongo en el piso. Un equipo muy fuerte, muy grande. Cada vez que la pongan en el piso, se ajustan en defensa. Bloqueo, salí y tiré, metí, felicidades, fallé, felicidades. Entonces, ya no estamos regresando. Ya no estamos regresando al balance. Ya es muy tira-tira. Ya cumplimos. 5 minutos buenos, ya. Hay que seguir trabajando, hay que esforzarse. El logro, el premio se logra esforzándome y hablando. Ok, estamos trabajando 1 y 0.
Mora dropping in the trifecta, leading to the timeout for the DR. Exactly 5 minutes remaining here in this third quarter, and Brazil beginning to flex their muscles once again, starting to settle in to this period with great offense and great ball movement.
You mentioned Dominican Republic just 1 foul away from the bonus. They've drawn 14 fouls from Brazil so far in this game. Gotten to the line 9 times for 15, gone for 15 shots. And so that's got to be a goal for the rest of this quarter for them.
Morton will tee up a 3 on the front of the rim, and a flat-footed rebound for Mora. Kaká Martins will dribble the other way. Cardoso with the steal. That's great defense by Dos Santos. See if the DR can turn it into a positive now. Kelis, good find. Oh, Cardoso says no. What a rejection. Killer Cam.
Yeah, I'd have a smile on my face too if I just made that block. Cardoso is so lethal down low.
Morton will inbound, 15 on the shot clock. Kelis. Morton a series of fakes. Now using the Batista screen. Batista's available to her. Morton's gonna have to put it up. And got it. An awkward shot that falls.
I mean, she spun around and saw Cardoso and said, nope. She took one more step through her and found a little bit of an opening and kissed it off the glass.
Ferreira penetrating her floater off the mark. And that's going to be out of bounds. Here's a look at the Ferreira floater. Looked like she got in between, trying to pass to Camila and also trying to take the shot. That ball lost touch by Brazil. And it'll be Dominican basketball. Pokey Chapman thinking it's their ball. Camila Cardoso wants to review on the bench, saying that she didn't touch it.
I love the passion from Team Brazil. Up by 32. And still every possession matters for them. Looking to, or asking for the review from the players sitting down.
Los Santos you saw leaving the game. And it looks like we'll have a technical foul called on the Brazilian bench.
Just as I said, I like the passion. I like the idea of the passion.
So Morton will toe the line for this technical free throw.
Morton.
Excuse me, it'll be Khalees.
Oh, excuse me. Khalees hasn't hit the foul line yet in today's game. An important one here today. But it's okay, because they get the possession as well. So had the chance for the extra point, but they're going to retain possession now down low.
16 on the clock for them to work with. Morton will trigger the inbound. She's got to get it in. Just did. It's Hodge, who's newly instated. Good start in that second quarter. She tees up the three, can't get it to go. Dantes battling with Batista. It lands in the hands of Kaka Malchines. Malchines gonna have to get it over half. She just did. De Oliveira. Kicks it. That's Mora for three. Can't get it to drop. And Morton with her hands on the ball once again. Accelerating to the 10. Can't get it to drop. Good offensive rebound to Abreu. Morton on the baseline. Flips it to Abreu. And she kisses it off the window.
Morton is all heart, all heart. Gets up 2 shots with the offensive rebound there by her team and then able to dish it off to her open teammate because she's the one taking the shots right now. She's got the hustle, the heart, and the hot hand. And so Brazil really moves over there to guard her.
Too easy that time for Dominguez Dantes as she glides through the paint and falls away on that too. Elise wants a screen. It's going to be Hodge who comes up and delivers. That pass goes out of bounds. Another turnover here for the DR.
Oh, she gets the hug. The teammates hug it out after that little miscommunication there. And it's all smiles. Learning opportunity for them on that one. That's not the learning opportunity, though. That's a little bit of hustle right there. Just not getting back.
Defensively as Mora is able to kiss it off the window for 2. Equaling the largest lead of the game now for Brazil. Morton on the 45. Rejects the screen, pulls up for 2 and drops it.
She has been so solid for this Dominican team. Oh my gosh, give her 12 points on the night.
Dantes trying to seal Batista, and that pass was a line drive, needed to be a lob. It goes out of bounds. Reynoso checking back in, as is Rodriguez. So minute 54, Kelsey, in this third quarter. We've seen the energy, and we like the energy from the Dominican Republic and the response here to the big lead, but now they've got to start getting some results. Try and chip away at it. Morton watched by Ferreira. She turns the corner at the foul line. Hands to Hodge. Hodge spinning, tough look. Can't get it to drop. And Rebound, De Oliveira. Dantas, good up fake. Attacking, scoop layup. Can't get us to drop though. And Hodge trying to weave through traffic the other way. It'll be Morton crossing over. Gonna kick it out to Rodriguez, who wants a Hodge screen. Gets the switch. In and out cross to the paint. And got it to go. Tough little move that time by Rodriguez. Two-man game between Dantas and Kaka Machines. And she blows right by Rodriguez for two. 2-for-1 opportunity for the DR. Abreu with the cut. Gets to the paint, sprays it out. Hodges with the floater. Off the window. Reynoso once again in there for an offensive rebound, but could corral that one.
Reynoso continues to be in the right spot. She boxes out, she just can't hold on to that one, but the effort is there for Dominican right now as they continue to attack.
The Arts should get the basketball back with the last look. They're able to secure a rebound. Kaka Machines is going to go to the line for two.
Martins, first time at the line tonight. Just this morning, 2 points for her, 4 rebounds, 5 assists is what I'm most impressed with her so far in this one.
And playmaker, as you said, Da Costa and Sasa, 2 guards on this Brazilian roster, typically speaking, are not here. So that left Malchines with plenty of the playmaking responsibility. And so far through 2 games and a bit, she's been able to show that she can handle the responsibility.
I mean, hey, that World Cup pre-qualifying tournament just last year averaged 8.7 points per game, 4.7 rebounds. Most impressively, though, 5.3 assists per game while shooting 50% from the 3-point line.
It's the free throws. Reynoso plucks it out of the sky. Shot clock is unplugged. Rodriguez in the front court. Rodriguez using the Abreu screen. Machines all over her. 5 to shoot now. Rodriguez has got to go, and she goes. Euro step by Machines to lay it in. And that's how we end the 3rd quarter. An impressive bucket that time by Rodriguez. 66-36 your score. After 3, Brazil up big. An opportunity to see the stats from the 3rd quarter. As the shooting percentages slowly creeping back up for the Dominican Republic. Getting to the line 16 times so far in this basketball game. They'd love to see more trips there by getting Brazil in foul trouble early in this 4th frame and maybe chip away at this lead slowly but surely. And here's some of the best plays from the 3rd. As Brazil enjoying a 30-point advantage. Dantas and Victoria converging on that. Moki Chapman looking on as our WNBA star, Dominican Dantas, able to find a couple of baskets in that 3rd period. Here's a tough layup that time by Victoria, and Jimenez came alive in the 3rd from deep for Dominican Republic on a tough step back.
What's been so fun to watch, as you see here from Brazil, is we've seen players we haven't quite seen or we haven't gotten a lot of minutes from in this tournament so far. 29 points off the bench for Brazil. And like we said, the 2 players making their debut in this tournament, we got to see in that 2nd quarter, and really bright young stars for Brazil that have kind of had the chance to show off in this game as the 2 WNBA players for Brazil. Not going to start this quarter. You see that QR screen down low in the corner. Download that app, scan the QR code and get the Courtside 1891 app. You can watch live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of international basketball. You got all the games here at the FIBA Women's AmeriCup here in Santiago, Chile.
Beautiful day here in Chile, by the way. Both of us are wearing sweaters. We probably didn't need it.
Definitely didn't need the jacket over the sweater.
We didn't.
That was crazy.
You're right. Starting the fourth quarter, Brazil up by 30. Carlin Gay alongside Kelsey Wright Johnson. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Brazil playing in their third game here in Santiago, Chile. As Capellán drills a three.
8 points from her tonight. Well under her average, but we've seen glimpses of that star throughout the game as she makes another three.
Chins moves it once more. Ferreira on the baseline, swallowed up by Reynoso. Oh, they're going to call a foul.
Oh.
They're going to call a foul. It's going to send Ferreira to the line. Thought it was a clean block. It might not be on Reynoso. We'll have to see the replay here and assess. But it looked like a clean block by Reynoso there.
I said earlier, she just is always in the right spot at the right time. Basketball IQ off the charts for her.
Here it is. That's a tough call.
Yeah, she fouled her teammate, that's for sure. Reynoso on the back of Rodriguez there as she lands.
Meanwhile, Ferreira hits the free throw. Reynoso clearing on the second. Rodriguez will push the other way. Evangelista thought about the three. Took one dribble, picked it up. Capellán. Using the Evangelista screen, Mora will foul her.
Mora was one of those players who stepped up while Cardoso and Dantas have been on the bench. Really strong play by her so far in this game. 12 points, 4 rebounds. Filling that scoring hole with the two bigs. Taking a little breather for a lot of this game.
Much-deserved rest. They've been able to put in work throughout this tournament. Reynoso with the shot clock winding down. Can't get it to drop. Silva will pluck it out the sky. Needs a guard. And a bad foul there by Reynoso in the backcourt as she was trying to prevent Kaká Martins from corralling. Batista will check into the game. It looks like she's coming in for Reynoso. She is. That's Reynoso's fourth foul. Second team foul for the Dominican Republic here in this fourth. De Oliveira for three.
Wow, the threes just keep going for this Brazilian team. That's their 8th of the night.
Able to find some airspace and just rising up and knocking it down. Here's Hodge. Giving it away. Martins in the open floor with numbers. Sprays it to the corner. How about De Oliveira again? That one off the back iron and out of play.
She was feeling that one. Caught it in rhythm. Didn't think about it. Didn't have the chance to think about it. Put it up, and that's a good shot for Team Brazil in transition. I'm sure Coach Chapman would take that over and over and over again. Brazil shooting 30% from the three-point line right now, but it feels like they're shooting 75.
Yeah, they are getting great looks. They're going to try to bottle up this offense that they've been able to put together here in this game and try to take it over to their next contest. Silva with the steal and the crossover in the open floor was fouled hard by Evangelista.
Silva, another one of those players like Mora who stepped up offensively with the presence of Camilla and Damaris on the bench. 9 points already. This will be her first trip to the line.
We saw Ayla McDowell for the first time in this tournament in the first half. She is now back into the game here in the fourth, while Silva takes her first free throw. Silva playing for São Paulo, averaging 14 points per game this past season in the Brazilian league, and just under 9 rebounds per contest. And you have talent playing with your club, and now you show up with the national team. You got to fight for minutes against the best of the best.
I mean, yeah, she's, like you said, pro in Brazil, MVP in both 2021 and 2022 of her respective league. So not a player you can leave open if you're Dominican.
We'll run down low. And a good block that time. Evangelista forcing a tie-up and a travel for Moura.
Ooh, that close-up almost got that stink face that she did after that one. She said, I'm tired of you scoring on me. That was great defense, great hands.
Evangelista is a firecracker. She's not afraid to chat. Kelly's kicks it out. Batista, this is good ball movement. Capayen off the mark. That's a shot she would normally make. Just hasn't been her
It's
morning.
a shot she made earlier this game.
Jeans. Inside, Moura could not handle the pass. Capayen wants it. Attacking on two defenders. It goes off her thigh and out of bounds. That's great transition defense by Silva. Moura will sit. She gets a hand from her teammates. McDowell. See if she can get a basket here. Her mid-range jump shot not there. And Alves last touched it and will go the other way. So McDowell and Alves, you've now seen them Kels through a couple quarters. Alves specifically defensively, she was great.
Yeah, she's been really, really good. She has 4 personal fouls, but it almost feels like every one of those fouls has been a good foul. So you can't even be mad at that.
Right.
She's got 2 blocks, 2 monster blocks, in fact. And on the offensive end, has had a lot of good open looks. Talk about open looks, Carlin.
Jalise drops home a rainbow 3. 6:03 remaining in the game. Dominican Republic still showing some fight.
Yeah, and I mean, we just talked about it. Evangelista, she's got some fight in her, and that's not going away. And that was one of the just battles of positioning down low, and she was not going to give up that positioning. So the fight continues.
Ferreira on the 45. Alves with the screen. Ferreira attacking the rim. A wild shot. That's good movement there by Batista. Stick in front of her. Kelly pushes the other way. Spinning in the lane. Was able to get back possession after fumbling. Orton and Evangelista handed up. Evangelista deep 3. Not there. Malchines smartly tapping it to Ferreira. Skip pass goes out of bounds. Alves was calling for it, but then overran it.
I'm going to talk about Ferreira for a second from Brazil. Has been such a solid player and a grad student heading into Oregon State next year. She's had a really, really, really good career. Or sorry, she's staying at Oregon State. Her senior year at Oregon State was the WCC tournament MVP and the champs of that tournament as well.
Yeah.
A really solid addition to this Brazilian team.
Every basketball player's favorite 3 letters, MVP. When you get added to your resume, it's pretty impressive. Sosa into the game, number 44 in white for the first time. She wants it on the block and gets it. Draws 2. They move inside but couldn't get the finish. And last touch, they say, by Batista. That was a good, solid post move by Sosa.
Yeah, it's her first minutes here and looking to make an impact right off the bat. The minute you check in, you got fresh legs.
Ferreira, Nascimento on the up fake. This is good ball movement from Brazil. Alves for 3, off the mark. McDowell with the offensive rebound. Nascimento will try. And she can't get it to drop. So after starting off red hot from three-point range, it's dried up now for Nascimento. Sometimes you just want to stay in the game and keep shooting.
Yeah, that'll happen. It's tough to stay warm when you're, of course, on the bench, but a really good opportunity for a lot of these younger girls to get some minutes when Brazil is up by so much over the Dominican Republic.
Under 5 to play here in this one. Brazil has led wire to wire. Morton crossing over on Alves at the nail. That's pretty.
Shooter's bounce, 14 points for Morton on the evening. Hasn't been the most efficient game, but it's just, that's the defense from Brazil kind of forcing a lot of those misses.
Silva on the drive, couldn't get it to go. Alves being aggressive once again, Kelsey on the glass, but tapped it out of bounds.
Yeah, I like her. She's got something to prove here. Her first game, her first couple minutes with Team Brazil, and it's almost like an audition for moving forward when it gets to the knockout stage for her.
Kelly's attacking and able to find the window for 2. Nascimento takes the bump, pulls, can't get it to go. Alves with the strong offensive rebound, and then Sosa defending, able to come up with a strip. Kelly's with the ball on the string. Abreu showed the up pick quickly, and that will reset. Reynoso inside, had it slapped out of her hands, and what a collision there. Welcome to the AmeriCup, McDowell. And she was fouled by Reynoso, and that's it for her. Elise will leave the game. And she's going to get a hug from her coach for the good effort. Reynoso picked up her 5th foul. They're waiting for her to be subbed out.
Kelly's ends the game 5 points, 40% shooting from the field with 3 rebounds to go along with that, as Reynoso, like you said, takes a substitution as well. Went scoreless in this one, but 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Her effort was there the whole time, and like I said, just a difference maker, even when it's, you know, getting in the passing lanes and getting deflections, even if it's just a little effort play. 0 points, but definitely made an impact on this team this game.
Ayla McDowell, appealing people down in South Carolina in the United States, excited about her arrival. A big-time high school star. She was a top 15 recruit in the nation. And she's going to go play basketball for Dawn Staley, a Hall of Famer.
I was just about to say, if Dawn Staley is recruiting you and sees something in you, you know she's a special talent.
Hasn't played a ton here at the AmeriCup. This is her first game. Hasn't looked out of sorts.
Look, she's ranked number 22 overall on ESPN's top 100 for her class. She's a McDonald's All-American this past year, 2025. She's gonna be good. It's just look who she's playing under right now for Team Brazil. It's a team that has a lot of chemistry, a team that's played together, and you've got WNBA talent, you've got talent pro all over the world. So no knock that she hasn't seen a lot of playing time, because she's gonna be a star for this program.
Yeah, 3:24 remaining in this one, Kelsey. And you talk about the likes of McDowell, and you've been in this situation when you have players who are a little bit older, but also, I don't want to say better, but just have more experience than you. You can just sit around and pick their brain, especially on trips like this where it's just U12 in a different country, figuring things out.
Oh, if I'm going into college, I'm going into South Carolina, what better teachers to spend, you know, a month with side by side than Camila Cardoso and Damaris Dantas. Damaris Dantas been in the NBA, or been in the WNBA, excuse me, since 2012.
She can play in that league too, by the way.
You know what? She's tough enough. Yeah. I like her so much. Yeah, but I mean, been there for, you know, over a decade. So you get the chance to sit with her at lunch, sit with her at dinner, practice with her, see how she reads the game. It's going to be a huge learning opportunity for her. And it's going to give her a step up going into college with this experience.
No question. Her and Alves both be going into college as freshmen in America. And around October, November when their seasons begin. Meanwhile, back to live action. 4.8 for Dominican Republic to shoot. Jimenez knows it, tosses it up. Can't get it to go. That looked like it was a three-point attempt, a one-legged floater from three.
You got to do what you got to do when the shot clock is winding down.
Creative shot. And they're going to stay with possession, will the Dominican Republic. 14 on the shot clock for them to work with. The inbound on the baseline.
I like the spacing of this baseline out of bounds.
Jimenez will try a more conventional three-point shot. Can't get it to go. Nascimento finding Alves. Look at Alves on the footwork. Tough move and gets it to drop.
We love a big that runs rim to rim. You get rewarded a lot of the time with that hustle.
Alves picking up 4 points here in this one. And then McDowell, the youngster, coming up with a steal. Ahead again to Alves. That one too far.
And look, that's just a chemistry thing. That's a learning your teammates thing. She was trying to lead her to the basket just a little bit too far out of reach for Alves.
Sosa checks out of the game for the Dominican Republic. That was her first stint here at the AmeriCup. Rodriguez tees up the three. That's going to be off. Morton saved it. At least I thought she did. The official said no.
I think that was blocked just the tiniest bit from Ferreira. Got a hand on that one, so it was just a little bit knocked off the mark. And she's so good at that. So good at those little things, just the effort plays for Brazil.
Nascimento inside Alves. Alves is going to get called for the offensive foul. Trying to carve out some space for her and through the elbow. And that looks like that is it for her. It is. Not a bad debut here at the AmeriCup for Alves.
No, absolutely not. She ends with 4 points and 4 rebounds, as well as of course the 5 fouls. But again, we talked about those 4 fouls early on, how they were fouls, almost good fouls. There's good and bad fouls, and none of hers were like kind of mental errors or mental lapses. All of them really trying to, well, all 4 of them to begin with, to really stop scoring. And then this one was just an aggressive take on the offensive end.
We've now seen these two teams through 3 games after the horn of this one. Let's start with Brazil. They played well against Argentina. Argentina couldn't make shots in that one. You were wondering, well, if they see a team that can make shots, how would they react? We found out in game number 2, Canada started making shots, made it tough for Brazil through 3 quarters, and then Brazil's defense really locked in the Canadians, and they were able to walk away from that one with a victory. And here today, again, their defense, really the catalyst. Strong first half that blew this game wide open. Many expected this team to win this AmeriCup. So far, they're checking off every single box that you would like to see out of a favorite.
Yeah, in that Brazil versus Canada game, you talked about their defense. Camila and Damaris alone pulled down 25 rebounds. And I'm looking at the rebounding battle right now. Dominican Republic winning it 49-44, but it's just because Brazil hasn't missed a ton of shots. 43% from the field today for Team Brazil, so haven't really needed the opportunity. Only 6 offensive rebounds, but again, shooting over 40% from the field, there's just not a lot of rebounds to grab.
Yeah, and on the other side, Dominican Republic able to sneak out of their game, their first game against El Salvador with a victory, a 2-point win there. A tough matchup against Argentina, who got hot from the field finally after struggling their first 2 games here in Santiago. And now this one is going to be a tough loss. They have to lick their wounds before they take on Canada, the other one of the other favorites here in Group A. As the shot clock winds down on Rodriguez, and good defense again for Brazil. We just talked about how great they've been, and even the bench players getting into it on the floor. 1.7 for the DR to shoot.
You know, a bright spot for the Dominican Republic is that in both of their losses, they had just really slow starts. They had 5 points here today in that first quarter, only 9 points in the game against Argentina. So you can kind of pinpoint where you can grow from, and so regroup and look at, you know, why they're starting so slow and how they can improve that. And once they get that fight going, they're a different team. It's a different team than you see in the first two quarters of these last 2 games for them.
Yeah. Well, this game against Canada that they have left on their schedule happening tomorrow will start a little later in the afternoon. It is weird for basketball players to rev their body up as early in the morning as they did. 11:40 a.m. start time locally here. Brazil was ready. Dominican Republic, you could tell that they just needed some time to kind of warm up the engines. That won't be the case tomorrow afternoon against Canada with a 5:40 local start.
It'll be a tough game. They got 2 really tough games back-to-back against, you know, 2 of the top teams in this tournament, but you learn from each and every one of them. We've seen glimpses of stardom from a lot of their players. Different players step up each game. Of course, Capian, the leading scorer of the team, but today, a lot of Morton, as she's got 14 points and leads the way. So if they can get everybody on board, get everybody scoring the way that they have in this tournament, and get off to a good start in that first quarter, I think it'll be a better game for them than we saw here today.
Yeah, Brazil's still in good shape, however. Dominican's still in good shape here in this tournament as McDowell is going to go to the line for 2. With that win against El Salvador in their first game, kind of gives them a little bit of a cushion. El Salvador is 0-2. They'll play Argentina later on. El Salvador has to pick up a victory at some point in these games, and you know, the road for them is not going to be easy with their 2 remaining games on their schedule. Argentina first and then Brazil after that. But you never want to rely on someone else to do your work. If you're Dominican Republic, you would love to get 1 more win, and to beat the Canadians would be a massive upset.
Yeah, and I mean, we see it here. When there's kind of neutral crowds, you mentioned this yesterday, there's neutral crowds in here. I mean, not a lot from Canada, not a lot from Dominican Republic. They're going to cheer for the underdog, so they'll have that 6th man with them tomorrow.
Ray was calling for it. She gets it. Let's see what she does with it. Rodriguez turns the corner. Ora with a good defensive effort. It's going the other way. We've seen that consistently. The offensive player crashing into a stationary defender is not going to get the foul call. Shot clock will be unplugged here. And Pokey Chapman just wants to get over half and let the clock wind down here. And that's what we'll do. Another impressive performance for Brazil. And they'll move to 3-0 here and sit at the top of Group A. Brazil win 73-46, defeating the Dominican Republic in Santiago, Chile.
Yeah, Brazil has won all 4 head-to-head matchups dating back to 1992, so make it 5 now with a decisive win here in Santiago, Chile, with some bright spots from not only the 2 WNBA players, Dantes and Cardoso. Bella Nascimento, she started off real hot, ending the game with 14 points. And Mora was the other player that I was really impressed with tonight. 12 points for her. To go along with 6 assists. So she led in assists and then was the 2nd leading scorer for this Brazilian team.
See some of the Brazilian fans who have made the trip here down to Chile. And some of the numbers, the 24 assists, impressive ball movement from Brazil. As Kayla mentioned, as Kelsey mentioned, Nascimento with the leading scorer for Brazil. 14 for Morton leading the way for the Dominican Republic. And a little bit of a dance happening in the middle of the court as Pokey Chapman's squad now moves to 3-0 and in prime position to grab the #1 spot here in Group A. They have 1 more game after this one. It will be against El Salvador. And El Salvador will be in tough against a pretty good Brazilian squad. Still smiles on the face for the Dominican Republic as they walk off the court. They know that they're still in a good spot here in Group A, having picked up their win against El Salvador. It's up to El Salvador now to upset either Argentina or Brazil in their final 2 games. We'll get an opportunity to see the best plays from the fourth period. But first, how about a victory pose?
It's one of my favorite parts of the post-game traditions now as they walk off the court here in Santiago, Chile. You get a look at these, most of these pictures up on the FIBA Women's AmeriCup social. So make sure you're following along on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, best plays of the fourth period. And you'll see a lot of extremely efficient offense from Brazil. That led to 73 points on the scoreboard.
We're seeing a lot of threes in these highlights, but this team is averaging 31 points in the paint and outdid themselves with 36 points in the paint to finish this one. And again, I'm just emphasizing it. That's without a lot of minutes from those two bigs that have been dominating the paint. So it goes to show just how deep this roster goes and how efficient they are from the key.
Second chance points for Brazil. They only had 2. It's not like they needed a ton of them. But you mentioned the bench points, 36 points off the pine for Brazil. They were able to show their depth in this game, allow their 2 stars, Dominican Dantes and Camila Cardoso, to rest. And they'll head into the knockout stage as a team that is playing really well. And I don't think they'll say to themselves that they've had their best basketball game yet. There's still things that they could clean up.
Yeah, for sure. I talked about the first quarter points, but also just kind of getting everyone to play their best at the same time. It's almost like one player will step up and then another player. We saw Capian at the beginning, and then we saw Morton here today. If we can they can get both of those players playing at top level at the same game, they got a good chance against Canada.
No question about it. So that's their next game. Canada on the rest day today. There's the updated standings as Brazil at top of the Group A standings at 3-0. Canada 2-1. Dominican Republic now 1-2, as is Argentina 1-2. Point differential going to be so important for DR and Argentina down the stretch. Well, that's it for us here in game number 1 of the schedule here for Group A. Coming up next, we will have El Salvador taking on Argentina. For Kelsey Wright Johnson, I'm Carlin Gay. We'll see you soon.